If you've ever been told to just change your mindset or think more positively, and then gotten really frustrated when nothing actually changed, you are definitely not alone. It's super common advice, but honestly, it's missing a key piece of the puzzle. So, what is that missing piece? Let's get into it. Right? We've all tried it. You try to force yourself to have a positive outlook, but the stress is still there, the old habits creep back in, and, real world problems don't just magically vanish. So, what is the disconnect here? Why does this well meaning advice just fall flat so often and kind of leave us feeling like we're the ones who failed? And that, right there, is the core issue. See, a positive mindset is the spark, but it's not the engine. It's like plugging a destination into your GPS, but it's not the actual car that's going to get you there. For real, tangible change, you need a protocol, a structured, repeatable system. And today we're going to break down one that's over 100 years old, but is more relevant than ever. So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. We're going to unpack this powerful protocol from a 1919 classic by Ernest Holmes called Creative Mind and Success. We'll start with the main idea, then we'll break down its 4 pillars. We'll see how they apply to things like work, relationships, and even habits. And then I'm going to guide you through a super simple 2-minute practice you can literally start using today. Okay, so what exactly are these first steps? Look, Holmes wasn't talking about some abstract philosophical idea. He was laying out a technical process, almost like a form of mental engineering. He saw creating change not as just wishful thinking, but as a very deliberate, predictable interaction with a fundamental law of how reality works. The central idea here is something Holmes called the creative mind. Now just think of it like a neutral, universal builder. It doesn't judge you, it doesn't have an opinion, it just takes the mental blueprints we give it through our main thoughts and feelings, and it builds our reality from them, perfectly. It's this impartial force that's always working for everyone. This really simplifies the whole thing down to one powerful idea. Our thoughts draw the plans, they're the blueprint, but it's our feeling, that deep-seated belief and emotional energy, that's the actual builder. That's what supplies the power. So these first steps are all about learning how to draw a really clear, consistent, and emotionally charged blueprint for that builder to follow. Okay, so how do we create that blueprint effectively? Well, Holmes' protocol is built on 4 very distinct pillars. This isn't just a random list of tips, it's a real structure for intentionally shaping your life. Let's dig into what those pillars are. The 4 pillars are clarity, atmosphere, repetition, and action. I want you to think of them like the 4 legs of a table. If you take one away, the whole thing gets wobbly and unstable. Each one plays an absolutely critical role in turning a vague wish into something real you can actually experience. First up is clarity. That universal builder we talked about, it needs a really precise pattern. A fuzzy goal like, I want to be successful, well, that's just too vague. Holmes actually said that mental clearness protects you from unbalanced enthusiasm. You've got to define exactly what success looks like, the specific job, the exact income, the feeling you'll have. A sharp blueprint leads to a sharp result. Simple. Next up, atmosphere. Holmes wrote that we are all immersed in the atmosphere of our own thinking. What he meant is that our internal world, our general mood, our deep assumptions, our beliefs, is constantly setting the tone for everything we experience. So the goal here is to consciously curate that inner vibe, to create an atmosphere of success and confidence before you see any proof of it in the outside world. Your inner state has to match the reality you want to build. Pillar 3 is repetition. And this, my friends, is where the real work gets done. Holmes said that one single stream of thought, sent out daily, will do wonders. And what's so cool is that this idea from 1919 lines up perfectly with what we know about neuroscience today. Consistent, focused thought actually rewires the part of our brain responsible for habits and automatic behaviors. You are literally carving a new neural pathway until that new thought becomes your default setting. And finally, we have action. This is so important. This whole system is not about sitting on the couch and just passively wishing for things. It's about doing the internal work to line things up and then, as Holmes put it, to act in faith when the opportunities show up. When you've aligned your clarity, atmosphere, and repetition, some intuitive nudge or an unexpected door will open up. Your job is to walk through it without hesitation. Okay, that's the theory. But how does this actually play out in the real world? Let's take this 4-pillar framework and apply it to a goal pretty much all of us have, leveling up our career. So instead of just thinking, I want a better job, you get super specific. For clarity, you say, I'm a senior project manager at a tech company with a great collaborative culture, and I'm earning X amount. For atmosphere, you start carrying yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who is already a rock star in that role. For repetition, every morning you take a few minutes to visualize yourself absolutely crushing it in that job. And then for action, when some random recruiter messages you on LinkedIn, you don't ignore it. You respond immediately and decisively. And this protocol is just as powerful for our personal lives. Let's take a look at how you could apply it to creating or, improving a really important relationship. The big shift here is moving from a mindset of lack, like I need someone, to a mindset of fullness. So for clarity, you're not focusing on a specific person, but on the qualities you want, like mutual respect, shared humor, great communication. For atmosphere, you work on feeling whole and happy all on your own, knowing that you are the source of your own love. This totally changes your energy. For repetition, you regularly affirm to yourself that you are worthy and ready for a healthy partnership. And then for action, you just engage with the world from this place of confidence, open to connection, but not desperate for. What's really wild is how well this 100-year-old framework aligns with modern behavioral science. So let's apply these pillars to something really concrete, like building a new daily habit. This is where you can see how practical this is. So for clarity, it's not, I want to get healthier, it's, I will walk for 20 minutes every single day right after I finish lunch. For atmosphere, you start thinking of yourself as a person who is active. You adopt that identity. For repetition, you do it every single day, linking it to that cue of finishing lunch. And for action, the moment that cue happens, you take that first small step. You put on your shoes, which makes the rest of the habit almost automatic. Okay, now that we've seen how this works, let's actually put it into practice right now. This is a simple 2-minute exercise you can use every day to start using this protocol. So go ahead, just get comfortable for a second. All right, first, just bring to mind one specific thing you want to experience. Don't let it be fuzzy. See it with as much detail and clarity as you possibly can. What does it look like? Who's there with you? Get the specifics down. Just hold that clear mental picture for a moment. Now, this next part is the most important piece. I want you to attach the feeling of it already being real. And I don't mean a feeling of crazy excitement or desperate wanting. I mean a feeling of quiet, calm satisfaction. The feeling of it is done, a quiet knowing. Try to feel that sense of calm certainty in your body right now. And finally, just let it go. Release the image, release the feeling. Trust that you have successfully submitted the blueprint to the builder. Your job now is not to stress about the how or the when. Your only job is to go about your day, stay aware, and be ready to act on any little nudges or opportunities that line up with what you've just set in motion. So let's do a super quick recap. This engine for real change has 4 parts. First, clarity. Know exactly what you want in detail. Second, atmosphere. Cultivate the inner feeling of already having it. Third, repetition. Impress that idea on your mind every single day. And fourth, action. Move with faith when the path opens up. This is the system that turns a simple mindset into your actual reality. Look, this isn't just some interesting theory. It's a practical tool you can use. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What is the one blueprint that you will start drawing with clarity and consistency starting today? If you want to go deeper, you can find the full audio reading of Creative Mind and Success and our whole playlist of related explainers down in the description. Thanks so much for hanging out.